Situated on the campus of the University of South Dakota, we visited a very special music museum, which, in addition to holding one of the most important collections of musical instruments in the world, is a world-renowned center dedicated to the research, teaching, and preservation of the world of musical instruments. Join us as we meet National Music Museum.
The National Music Museum aims to preserve historical musical instruments and share them with the public and share their stories, both the stories of the people who made the instruments and also those who played them, used them, collected them, and shared them with each other.
The National Music Museum grew out of the passion of one man, Arne B. Larson. His curiosity for the history of music, and particularly musical instruments as the tools that we use to make music, intrigued him. And he realized that there was a story of human history being told in the instruments that we used to make music. The collections at the National Music Museum are really quite varied. We have the musical instrument collection, which is the primary way that we document and interpret our musical history, we'll say. But we also have the supporting collections that go along with that, which means photographs and actual written music collections. We also have at the National Music Museum a huge archive of musical instrument manufacturers' ephemera, so catalogs and brochures from specifically the American musical instrument trade, and that's tens of thousands of items.
The relationship between the University of South Dakota and the National Music Museum really goes back to its founding, when our founding collector, Dr. Arne B. Larson, came here. He had a place to store his growing collection of musical instruments, which was on the campus here, so he was a professor on campus. And as they began talking about forming a museum, then there was a relationship built between what the university could provide and what the museum would provide. And so we have both formal and informal relationships between the two organizations.
So the Center for Preservation and Research is a building on the outskirts of Vermilion, and it's more than just where we store the instruments that we don't have on display. Obviously the museum has about over 14,000 instruments, so we could never have them all on display. A lot of activity takes place. There is teaching that takes place there. We have visiting scholars and so on, so people can come and look at instruments. We have archives there, so all sorts of stuff that we need to preserve, protect.
You'll see permanent exhibits, there'll be special exhibits, there will be concerts, we have educational opportunities, we have research opportunities, but really there is no typical experience at the National Music Museum because it really has to have some background context. And the way I like to think about it is most families and in most communities, most young people will start out having some type of musical experience.
Having the National Music Museum be in the heart of the University of South Dakota is just like a dream come true. And me as a cellist, I like that we have the King Amati here. It's the oldest cello known to exist. So being in the city where that cello is truly fantastic.
The National Music Museum is one of the world's greatest museums because of the size and importance of its collection, and also because this is one of the only places where you can find that really direct historical connection, is because we pride ourselves in having original instruments.